Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you 5 ways that you can use ChatGPT to become a better coder. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now, the first way is with error handling. So usually the way I do this is I just plug in whatever error I'm getting into ChatGPT and then give ChatGPT some kind of context for where I'm getting this error. Because if you do that, then it can give you much more granular feedback and steps on how to potentially solve this error. So I was getting an auth not recognized in Flutter, trying to write to Firebase. So again, yeah, I'm just giving it that extra context so it can give me more granular feedback on how to solve this problem. Yeah, and you can see that it tells me here's probably what your issue is, and here's some steps that you can do to try to resolve this issue. Now, this is super helpful if you're new to Flutter like I am, or if you're new to any particular kind of coding language and you don't know where to start with this error. Now, the reason why this is better than something like Stack Overflow is because with Stack Overflow, you're going to have to comb through a bunch of different web pages and you don't get all of the things you can try all at once. You go to this web page and you find the first step, and you go to the second web page and you find the second step. And in this way, you don't have to scroll through all those different web pages. You just get all of the different ways that you could possibly solve this right now. And I've said this in past videos and I'll say it again. The only drawback for this is ChatGPT is trained on older data. So I think it's like a year ago is what they trained all this data on. So if there's a new library or a new solution for the problem or a new problem, ChatGPT is probably not trained on that yet. But for most of the basic stuff, like you forgot to authenticate or you're getting a weird syntax error, ChatGPT is really good at helping with that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next thing you can use ChatGPT for, which is optimization. So I'm just going to go ahead and riff off some code that I was using earlier. This is in the same project, and ask it, hey, ChatGPT, how can I optimize this? Or can you show me how to optimize this? Now, this is really good if you're starting in a new language and you look at your code and you're like, huh, this is really bad code, or like this code seems more verbose than it needs to be, but you don't know how to make it better. ChatGPT is really good at looking at your code and then making it better for you and saying, hey, here's something you could try, and showing you the exact code that it would be using to make it better. So in this case, it's suggesting a builder widget instead of a future builder, because the builder widget is more lightweight and can help improve performance. So that's also great because, like, let's say I'm working on this project with some of my friends and they say, hey, why do you use a builder instead of a future builder? I can go ahead and tell them exactly why and use this reasoning, because now I've learned, oh, this is where a builder is better than a future builder. So this will be super helpful for anyone who's trying to learn a new language or trying to optimize their code. And you can see here that it also gave me some other suggestions. Moving on to the next way you can use ChatGPT. Let's say I'm still unclear on what a builder is. I could go ahead and copy and paste that and ask ChatGPT. But let's up the ante a little bit and make this a little bit more fun. Now, I'm totally unfamiliar with the Rust language. So I went and searched a random open source project in Rust, and I'm just going to copy and paste the code into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what does this mean? And ChatGPT is going to go ahead and explain to me exactly what this Rust program does and what it means. So of course, it starts by explaining what the two functions are. If we go back here, we can see the functions more easily, I think. So let's see. Yeah, we have batch, and then we have job, the two functions that it's going to be telling me about in ChatGPT. And then it goes and explains everything else about the code here too as well. So again, this is super helpful if you're just learning a new language, or if you're trying to get into programming, but it seems kind of inaccessible because you don't understand what all this code means. ChatGPT is really good at explaining particular lines of code or even what an entire file could do, and giving suggestions on how to optimize that file. Now, I think this is the coolest thing about ChatGPT, because it's letting people make websites in like a weekend. It's letting them make video games in like a week. It's insane. I actually use this to up my personal website and make it better with React. So the next question that you can ask ChatGPT is, how do I? So for example, how do I make video games? Right, so we're just going to start really zoomed out on this to see what ChatGPT can do. So of course, ChatGPT is going to say, oh, there are so many resources you can do for making a video game. And you can see that it's giving me some options of engines I could choose to make a video game. We're going to go ahead and ask it more about Unity, because I know a little bit more about Unity, so it can go ahead and give us information that's good. And you can see that it's giving us other steps we can follow too. Now, if someone was completely new to programming, this would be much more accessible than, say, a Unity tutorial, because here you can ask it as many questions as you want. You can ask it, hey, what's a class? What's this? And you don't need to go to all these different web pages. It's like the source is all in one place. And also now, because ChatGPT has these stored chats, you can go back and view your questions again later without scrolling through your history. So let's go ahead and ask it, can you make me a sample Unity game for a starter page? And then we're going to go ahead and see what it can give us. And you can see that makes us a game manager with mono behavior. All this looks like good stuff for a Unity game. Now, earlier, I gave it a piece of code and asked it to optimize that. Now we're going to ask it if there's another way that we could do this Unity game manager. Like, let's say I just don't like something about this code, but I don't want to rewrite it myself. I can go ahead and ask ChatGPT if it can do this in another way. So I can ask ChatGPT to do that. It's going to go ahead and write this file in a different way. And then I can ask it, hey, what are the pros and cons of both of these files? So in this particular case, it's super simple code. It's just like a boilerplate template for the starter page in Unity. But we can see here that it has some debug logs in, it has some starting lives. It started to fill out more of this file for us. Yeah, and you can see it explains here how these two files are different. Now I'm going to go ahead and list the questions that I was asking ChatGPT somewhere over there. And I hope you found this video helpful and will use these tips in the future to become a better programmer. Again, thank you for watching and have a great rest of your day.